I want to begin this conversation with something I've heard far too often from patients in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s. They say, it's always the worst in the morning. Once I get moving, it gets a little better, but those first steps feel like walking through cement. And if you've said something similar yourself, I want you to know you're not alone. That morning tightness, that slow, uncomfortable rise out of bed, that stiffness in your knees or hips that makes it hard to even get dressed, it's incredibly common. But more importantly, it's not something you're powerless against. There are things you can do, gentle things, that truly make a difference. So why does the morning feel so much harder on your joints? Let's break it down together, because when you understand the why, the how to fix it becomes much easier. During the night while you're asleep, your body is in recovery mode, which is a good thing, but it also means you're lying still for hours. Without movement, your synovial fluid, that's the natural lubricant in your joints, slows down. The cartilage, especially in aging joints, doesn't get the circulation it needs, and when there's already a bit of inflammation, stiffness builds up like fog in the morning air. I've often compared your joints in the morning to a sponge that's been left sitting overnight. It's not broken. It's just dry and tight. You need to squeeze it a little, move it gently, let the fluid circulate again. That's where movement becomes your best medicine. But here's the thing. It's not about working out first thing in the morning. It's not about pain or pushing yourself. It's about waking up your body in a way that's kind, smart, and sustainable, especially if you're over 50 or dealing with chronic joint issues. Let me tell you a quick story. One of my patients, Margaret, a retired teacher in her late 60s, came to me frustrated. I used to jump out of bed, she told me. Now I shuffle like I'm made of stone. We worked together on a simple 5-minute routine she could do in her bedroom. No special equipment, no yoga mat, nothing fancy. Just her body, her breath, and some awareness. Within 2 weeks, she said the stiffness went from a level 8 to a level 3. Not gone, but manageable. She told me, it feels like I'm giving my knees a warm cup of tea each morning. And that's exactly how I want you to think of it. This routine I'll walk you through in this video isn't just movement, it's preparation. It's like greasing the hinges of an old but beautiful door before you open it wide. And believe me, your body is still capable of opening wide, of moving with less pain, of feeling stronger. It just needs to be treated with care. There's another reason mornings can feel especially rough: overnight inflammation. In some cases, particularly with inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or early osteoarthritis, your immune system is quietly overreacting during the night. The body is trying to heal, but it ends up sending too many inflammatory signals. That's why you may feel swelling, heat, or deep aching when you wake up. Your body isn't betraying you. It's trying to protect you, but in a way that's out of balance. Our goal is to gently interrupt that pattern. That's why this 5-minute practice doesn't just target movement, it also supports circulation, lymphatic drainage, and even mindset. Yes, mindset. Because if you start your morning already frustrated with your body, already feeling like you're broken, your nervous system will amplify the pain. I've seen it again and again. People who move with kindness toward their own bodies in the morning tend to report better days overall. Pain is never just physical. It's also emotional, mental, relational. So when you take 5 minutes to start the day differently, you're not just helping your joints, you're helping your entire experience of the day ahead. One thing I want to be very clear about: this routine is not about fixing everything overnight. I don't promise miracles. I've been in medicine too long to make empty claims. But I do promise that if you do this every day or even 4 or 5 days a week, your body will respond. You will feel the difference, not just in your joints, but in your confidence, in your pace, in your mood. I've had patients come back and say, it's like my body knows I care now. You might be wondering, why 5 minutes? Can that really be enough? Yes, when it's done right. These 5 minutes are targeted. They're not random stretches or gym movements. Each motion we'll do is designed to do one or more of the following: stimulate fluid around the joint, gently activate key muscle groups that stabilize the knees and hips, or release common areas of tension that build overnight. And don't worry, I'll guide you step by step. Before we begin, I want to go over a few safety points. If you've recently had surgery on your knees or hips, or if you're dealing with severe osteoarthritis that limits your movement, talk to your physician first. If you feel sharp, shooting pain during any of the movements, stop immediately. This is not a no pain, no gain situation. This is about cooperation with your body and not domination. And if something feels good, stay with it. Breathe into it. That's your nervous system learning to trust again. Finally, remember this. Your joints are not your enemy. They're not weak, broken, or useless. They're just asking for help. And this routine is how you answer that call. Over the next 5 chapters, I'll guide you through each stage of the morning practice. From breath to fluid movement to gentle strengthening. You don't need to be flexible. You don't need to be fit. You just need to show up with your body as it is today. So if you're ready, let's begin tomorrow morning or even right now by learning to move again, not with fear, but with care. Let's begin, not by moving, but by not moving. I know that may sound strange in a video about mobility, but this is where it all starts. Stillness. Before we stretch, before we rise, before we rotate our hips or gently bend our knees, I want you to just lie there, on your back, in bed, eyes closed, and breathe. Not forced breathing, not deep yoga breathing, just aware breathing. You'd be surprised how many of us haven't really felt our breath in days, even weeks. Especially when we're in pain, we tend to hold our breath without realizing it. I want you to place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Just observe. Which hand rises more when you inhale? Is your breath shallow, fast, uneven? There's no judgment here, just awareness. Because the way you breathe in the morning tells me more about your nervous system than any scan ever could. If your chest is tight, if your breath feels trapped in your throat, it's likely your body is already in a state of quiet stress. That alone can make joint pain worse, and that's what we'll soften first. Take a breath in through your nose, and let it go through your mouth like a slow sigh. Let your shoulders melt down. You don't need to fix anything yet. You're just arriving in your body. I want you to do that a few times, maybe 5, maybe more. You decide. Imagine each breath is a warm wave washing over your knees, your hips, your spine. Each exhale invites your joints to soften just a little. We're not forcing change, we're inviting it. That's the difference between exercise and healing movement. Now gently bring your attention to your knees. Don't move them yet. Just feel them. Are they buzzing, aching, numb? It's okay, you're just noticing. The goal is not to remove the pain, it's to meet it without fear. I want you to picture your knees like 2 hardworking teammates who've been carrying more than their share. Say to them, silently or out loud, I see you, I'm here. It may sound silly, but kindness has physiological power. Your brain begins to perceive the joint not as a danger zone, but as a part of you that's safe to support. Then shift your attention to your hips. Again, no movement yet, just gentle awareness. These are some of the most powerful joints in your body, and also some of the most emotionally sensitive. So many of us carry stress, grief, even fear in our hips. That's not just poetic, it's biological. Tight hip flexors, for instance, are a known response to chronic stress. So before we try to stretch them open, we simply acknowledge them. Breathe into them. Let the bed hold you. Let gravity begin its quiet work. Now, let's begin a very gentle pelvic tilt. No lifting, just a subtle rock. As you inhale, imagine your lower back pressing slightly into the bed. As you exhale, allow your tailbone to tilt forward, creating a small curve in your spine. You're not pushing, you're gliding, like soft waves. Repeat this 5 to 10 times. This tiny movement begins to wake up your core muscles, the ones that stabilize your hips without strain. It also increases circulation in the lower back and pelvic area, which helps reduce stiffness before you even sit up. Bring your hands now to your thighs, not to press, but to feel the connection. With each breath, notice if you can sense warmth there. A light buzz. That's blood flow returning. That's synovial fluid waking up. You're not just lying there. You're actively preparing your joints for the day ahead. And again, I can't stress this enough. Slow is strong. Gentle is powerful, especially when it comes to aging joints. You don't need violence to heal. You need presence. Now, let's do one of my favorite grounding breaths. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Repeat. Again. You're telling your nervous system, I am not in danger. I am safe. I am here. This kind of breathing doesn't just calm your mind, it reduces systemic inflammation over time. Yes, really, there's emerging science showing that breathwork can actually lower markers of inflammation in the body, including some that affect joints like interleukin 6 and TNF alpha. The body listens when you speak softly to it. From here, I want you to bring a tiny bit of movement into your ankles. Wiggle your toes, flex and point gently. This stimulates nerves and vessels connected to your knees and hips. It may feel like nothing, but these subtle actions send signals upward. It's like turning on the lights slowly instead of shocking your body awake. You're building a bridge from stillness to motion, one breath and one joint at a time. Let's finish this stillness practice with intention. I want you to choose a word, just one word. Maybe it's ease, maybe it's strength, maybe it's healing. Hold that word in your mind as you prepare to move. That's not just positive thinking, that's neuroplasticity in action. Your brain creates new pathways of experience based on how you frame your actions. When you begin your day from a place of calm, your body is far more likely to cooperate with you throughout the day. So here's what we've done so far, and we haven't even gotten out of bed yet. We've increased joint lubrication through breath, we've softened stress responses through awareness, we've activated pelvic and spinal alignment without effort, and we've begun the mental shift from surviving pain to participating in healing, all in under 5 minutes. In the next chapter, we'll move into seated and standing movements. Nothing aggressive, nothing jarring, just a continuation of what you've already begun. Remember, this is not a race, this is not a fix. This is a relationship between you and the body that's carried you for decades. And today, for these few moments, you are showing up for that relationship with care. By now, your breath is steady, your awareness is sharp, and your body is beginning to trust the day. So let's take the next step, gently moving the joints that need your attention most. Your knees and hips, but we're not going to rush into full stretches or weight-bearing positions. Instead, we're going to ease in as if we were coaxing a stiff door open, not yanking it. The truth is, your joints don't like surprises, especially not in the morning. They need time, rhythm, and respect. Still lying on your back, bend both knees slowly so your feet rest flat on the bed. This position takes pressure off your lower back and allows the hips to begin engaging safely. Let your arms relax by your sides. Now, very gently, let both knees fall slowly to one side, just a few inches, and then return to center. Then go the other way. This movement is called a windshield wiper. You're not forcing the knees all the way down, just a soft sway. Left, center, right, center. Repeat 8 to 10 times. With this simple sway, you're loosening the hips, activating the obliques, and even massaging the sacroiliac joint, all without lifting your head or engaging the spine too early. You might hear a little pop. That's okay, as long as there's no pain. That's gas being released or tendons shifting, a normal part of gentle movement. You may notice one side feels stiffer than the other. That's also okay. Our bodies are rarely symmetrical. And our goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Now, keep your knees bent and feet flat. Place your hands on your kneecaps and draw one knee gently toward your chest, keeping the other leg down. You can hold behind the thigh if it's more comfortable. Don't pull, just guide, then switch, one leg at a time. This movement nourishes the hip socket and stretches the lower back without stress. If you're comfortable, you can even bring both knees in together and give yourself a gentle hug. Breathe into that space. You're telling your spine and hips, you're safe. From here, let's introduce a tiny bit more motion. With both knees bent, gently lift your heels just an inch off the bed and set them back down. Do this 5 times. This subtle lift activates your calves and hamstrings without placing pressure on the knees. Now, keeping the heels down, try lifting your toes, again just slightly, and let them fall back. This wakes up the anterior tibialis, the muscle that supports your knees with every step you take. It may not look like much, but to your nervous system, it's like turning on the lights in a dark room. Now slowly roll to one side, whichever is more comfortable for you, and use your arms to help push yourself into a seated position. Take your time. There's no rush. Once you're sitting up, let your legs hang over the side of the bed. Feel your feet on the ground. This is the transition zone, from bed to floor, from night to day. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Sit tall, but don't force posture. Just lift your chest a little and imagine a string gently pulling the crown of your head upward. Now that you're seated, let's begin small joint circles. Start with your ankles. Rotate them in slow circles, first clockwise, then counterclockwise. You might hear little clicks. That's fine, just no sharp pain. Then move to your knees. Place your hands on your knees and slowly circle them forward, then back, not by lifting your legs, but by guiding the motion with your hands. It's a simple trick I've used with patients for decades. The joint responds to suggestion when the muscles are still waking up. Next, seated marches. Lift one knee slightly, set it down, then the other. Like you're marching in slow motion. Do this 5 times on each side. This engages the hip flexors, warms up the core, and begins preparing you for standing, all without shock or strain. Now, if you feel ready, you can add a bit of arm motion. Reach both hands forward as you lift one knee, then switch. This cross-body activation helps your brain reconnect bilateral movement, crucial for balance and coordination, especially as we age. Let's take it a step further. Heel slides. Place your heel on the floor and slowly slide it forward, then back. One leg at a time. This movement mimics walking but without full weight. It also lubricates the knee joint and stretches the hamstrings. You're telling your legs, the day is coming and get ready, but you're doing it with care, not command. That's what aging bodies need, not discipline, but dialogue. By now you may feel some warmth in your hips or a gentle throb around your knees. That's good. That's blood. That's fluid. That's life returning. If you feel discomfort, pause, breathe, reset. Pain is not weakness, it's communication. And your ability to listen is your superpower. Every patient I've helped strengthen their knees or restore hip mobility had to first learn to stop ignoring what their joints were whispering in the morning. You're doing that right now. Let's end this section with a grounding practice. Place your hands on your knees, sit tall, close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. On the inhale, say to yourself, I am strong. On the exhale, I am safe. Again and again. Let that become your rhythm. You've just done more for your knees and hips than most people do in a full day, and you've done it gently, kindly, wisely. In the next chapter, we'll begin simple standing exercises, ones designed for older joints with balance and grace in mind. But for now, stay here. Let the feeling settle. Your knees and hips, they've just been reminded that healing is still possible. Movement is still possible, and today is already different than yesterday. This part of the routine is where we meet the ground, quite literally. You've prepared your joints, awakened your breath, and now with care, we'll move from seated to standing. But we won't rush. First, place both feet firmly on the floor. Feel their connection. Take a deep breath. Then, using your thighs or a sturdy surface like the bed or a chair for support, slowly push yourself up to stand. Don't lock your knees. Don't grip your toes. Just rise, with grace. The first few seconds of standing in the morning can feel strange. Your feet might tingle. Your knees may protest. That's okay. You're not broken. You're just waking up parts of your body that have been still for hours. Begin by standing with your feet shoulder-width apart and your hands resting lightly on a nearby surface for balance. A counter, a dresser, or the back of a sturdy chair. This is your anchor. And from here, we begin our upright journey. Let's start with gentle weight shifts. Slowly transfer your weight to your left foot, then to your right. Don't lift anything yet. Just shift. This simple movement wakes up the stabilizing muscles in your ankles, knees, and hips. It also begins to train your brain's sense of balance, proprioception, something that naturally fades with age if we don't use it. I've seen patients regain confidence in walking again just by practicing this each morning. Now, heel lifts. Keeping your hands on your support surface, slowly rise up onto your toes, just a little, and then lower back down. Try doing this 5 times. This strengthens your calves, supports your knees, and improves blood circulation through the lower legs. If your balance feels good, you can even close your eyes on the last one, but only if you feel safe. You're not testing your body, you're teaching it. Let's move to side leg lifts. Stand tall, hold onto your support, and gently lift your left leg out to the side, no more than a few inches. Keep your toes pointing forward and your standing knees soft. Lower the leg, then switch sides. Do this 5 times each side. This movement activates the gluteus medius, one of the most important muscles for stabilizing the hips and protecting the knees. I've had patients in their 70s reduce hip pain dramatically with this one simple movement, done daily. Now let's try gentle mini squats, but don't worry, we're not talking about gym squats. This is a micro movement. Stand with feet shoulder width apart, hands on your support, and slowly bend your knees as if you were about to sit in a chair, just a few inches. Then come back up. Focus on keeping your knees behind your toes and your back tall. Repeat 5-8 times. These tiny bends help build strength in the quads and glutes, which are critical for walking, standing, and even getting out of bed. One of my favorite moves, standing hip circles. With both hands on your support, gently draw small circles with your hips, as if you were using a hula hoop, but very, very slowly. First clockwise, then counterclockwise. This loosens the lower back, hips, and even the knees. Many older adults tell me this one makes them feel more connected to their body again, less stiff, more present. It's also a quiet way to say, this body still moves. This body still belongs to me. Let's not forget the ankles. Shift your weight to one leg and gently rotate the free ankle in small circles both directions. Then switch. Healthy ankles are often ignored until it's too late, but they are foundational to every step you take. Warming them up in the morning prevents falls, protects knees, and helps you walk with less strain. That's not just a movement, that's protection. Now for one of the most powerful and underestimated actions, standing still. Yes, really. Find your tall posture, feet grounded, hands by your sides or on your hips. Breathe deeply. Notice the micro adjustments your body makes just to stay upright. That's your inner balance system at work, strengthening itself without a single step. I often tell my patients, don't fight gravity, work with it. And this moment of stillness is exactly that. To finish, take 3 slow, intentional steps forward and back. Think about each part of the step: heel, ball, toes. Let it be a meditation. Step, feel, return. This mindful walk reinforces balance, builds confidence, and connects everything we've done so far. You're not just walking, you're reminding your knees and hips that they are supported, aligned, and in motion. And motion, as I've said many times, is life. You can repeat this standing sequence each morning or even in the evening. It only takes a few minutes, but the benefits compound over time. I've had patients with chronic knee stiffness tell me that after just 2 weeks of this gentle standing practice, they could go upstairs more easily. Others said their hips felt freer, more alive. These are the quiet victories of aging well, and they start here in the stillness, in the motion, in the simple act of standing tall. Let's talk about stretching, not the painful kind you might remember from gym class, but the kind that gently tells your body, you're safe now, let's move. Most of my older patients don't need intense flexibility. They need freedom. Freedom to reach down and tie a shoe, to turn and look behind them without a wince, to get up from a chair without feeling stuck. And that kind of freedom begins with breath and gentle lengthening. We'll start with a simple seated forward reach. Sit on a chair with your feet flat on the ground. Slowly reach both hands toward your knees, shins, or even ankles, wherever feels natural, without forcing. Let your head drop slightly. You're not pulling anything. Just allow gravity to help your spine gently open. Stay for 3 deep breaths. As you exhale, feel your back soften. This small stretch brings length to the lower back, hips, and hamstrings, the areas that often feel tight from sleeping or sitting too long. Now, let's gently open the hips. Sit tall in your chair and place your right ankle over your left knee, like crossing your legs, but ankle to knee. If this is too difficult, you can modify by keeping the ankle lower on the shin. Gently press down on the right knee with your hand while keeping your back tall. Feel the stretch in your outer hip. Breathe deeply. Stay here for 20-30 seconds, then switch sides. This stretch, often called figure 4, is one of my favorites for hip mobility. It's safe, effective, and easy to do even while watching the morning news. Next is a seated side stretch. While sitting tall, raise your right arm overhead and gently lean to the left. Let your left hand rest on the side of the chair or thigh for support. Don't collapse. Just reach. You should feel a light pull along your ribs and side body. Breathe into that space. Then slowly come back up and repeat on the other side. This movement opens the waist, spine, and even parts of the hips. It helps reduce stiffness that sneaks in from long nights. Let's not forget the neck and shoulders. Tilt your right ear toward your right shoulder. Let the opposite arm hang down by your side. Feel the gentle stretch along the side of your neck. Hold for a few slow breaths, then switch sides. After that, roll your shoulders back in slow circles, 5 times, then forward. These micro movements release tension from sleeping positions and help prepare your upper body for the day ahead. We'll finish with a beautiful blend of movement and breath, a seated cat-cow. Sit tall on your chair. As you inhale, arch your back slightly and lift your chest, letting your shoulders roll back. As you exhale, round your spine and gently tuck your chin. Repeat this 5 times with your breath. This is a favorite among my patients with stiff lower backs or frozen posture. It brings awareness to the spine and reminds the body that it can still move with ease. Throughout this sequence, your breath is your partner. Don't hold it. Let it guide you. Inhale to expand, exhale to release. This rhythm not only enhances the stretch, but also calms the nervous system, a crucial part of reducing chronic pain. In fact, studies have shown that slow, intentional breathing can decrease the perception of pain by changing how the brain interprets discomfort. That's not a trick. That's neuroscience, and it's free. I've had patients with hip arthritis, post-surgical knees, and old injuries tell me that these gentle stretches made them feel human again. Not fixed, not perfect, just more at home in their body. And that in many ways is the ultimate goal of movement after 60. Not to push through pain, but to listen to your body and respond with care. You don't need fancy equipment, yoga mats, or an hour of time. You need intention. You need patience. And maybe, just maybe, you need to forgive your body for what it can't do and celebrate what it still can. Stretching isn't about touching your toes. It's about touching your life with presence. So take another breath, exhale slowly, and know this. Every gentle stretch you give your joints is a small act of love, and your body remembers that. Now that your joints are moving and your breath is steady, we end with something often overlooked in physical routines: grounding. This part isn't about stretching or strengthening. It's about reconnecting with your body and mind. You've just given your knees, hips, spine, and breath some care. Now you seal it all in with stillness and presence. I tell my patients that the final minute is where the magic really settles in. Sit tall in your chair with both feet flat on the floor. Place your hands gently on your thighs or in your lap. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Take a slow breath in through your nose and a long breath out through your mouth. As you breathe, bring awareness to your body. Notice your knees. Do they feel a little warmer? Softer? Notice your hips. Are they sitting easier, less tense, more alive? This is the moment to observe, not to judge. Now, bring your attention to gratitude. This may sound strange coming from a doctor, but I've seen firsthand how powerful this practice is for healing. Say quietly in your mind, "Thank you, knees, for supporting me. Thank you, hips, for carrying me through another day." It's simple, it's small, but it changes how you relate to pain, from frustration to compassion. I've had patients in their 80s weep during this part because no one ever told them they could thank their body, even after all its struggles. If it helps, place one hand over your heart and one on your stomach. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Imagine sending warmth to the parts that ache. Maybe it's your right knee, maybe your lower back. Just breathe into it. You're not trying to fix it. You're acknowledging it. That alone can calm your nervous system, lower tension, and reduce perceived pain. Modern research supports this, but more importantly, so does human experience. To close the routine, open your eyes slowly and bring movement back into your body. Wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, smile gently, not because everything is perfect, but because you just gave yourself 5 minutes of intention. That's no small act. That's healing in motion. And healing isn't something that always comes from pills or surgeries. Sometimes it begins in quiet moments like this. Remember, you don't have to be pain-free to move. You don't have to be young to start. You don't need a gym, a personal trainer, or perfect knees. You just need consistency and compassion. I've walked this path with hundreds of patients over the years. Some improved their mobility, some reduced their stiffness, but almost all of them found peace, not because pain disappeared, but because they changed how they lived with it. So tomorrow morning, come back to this. Before the rush of the day begins, before breakfast, before the phone calls, before the world tells you what you should do, sit down, breathe, move gently, and thank your body. It's still here with you, and it's listening.